Published 0204 EDT, the 18th of August 2017. Updated 0233 EDT, the 18th of August 2017. Comedian Tina Fey blasted Jackass Donny John Trump during a surprise appearance on the summer edition of Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update on Thursday. Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers meanwhile took on two of the nation's founding fathers in a separate skit. Colin Yost introduced Fey, who is a 1992 graduate of the University of Virginia, when she joined the anchor desk to share her thoughts about the white supremacist rally that resulted in the death of Heather Heyer last weekend in Charlottesville. "I have nothing but fond memories of my time there," Fey said of UVA. "I graduated a virgin and I still liked it. That's how good the architecture is down there," the comedian, who was sporting a UVA sweatshirt, continued. "So it broke my heart to see these evil forces descend upon Charlottesville. And then our president, Donald John Trump, and I don't think enough people talk about what a stupid, jackass name that is. Whatever, he gets away with it because he's gorgeous. Anyway, Donny John comes out and he says that he condemns violence on many sides. On many sides, Colin, I'm feeling sick because, you know, I have seen Raiders of the Lost Ark and I wasn't confused by it. No, Colin, Nazis are always bad. I don't care what you say." Scroll down for video. Comedian Tina Fey left sounded off on Jackass Donny John Trump during a surprise appearance on the summer edition of Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update on Thursday, joining Colin Yost Center and Michael Che right at the anchor desk. Fey, who is a 1992 graduate of the University of Virginia, shared her thoughts about deadly violence in Charlottesville and blasted the president for his controversial remarks. She said, "Nazis are always bad. I don't care what you say." Fey then referenced the alt-right rallies planned for this weekend and encouraged people to not participate and instead find Jewish or African-American-run bakeries to support before reaching for a cake with the American flag decorated on top. 47-year-old actress discussed how she heard about more alt-right rallies taking place across the country this weekend, noting that New York City is one of the scheduled locations. "Part of me hopes these neo-Nazis do try it in New York City and get the ham salad kicked out of them by a bunch of drag queens," Fey said, "because you know what a drag queen still is, a 64 black man." She added, "But, at the same time, I don't want any more good people to get hurt. I know a lot of us are feeling anxious and asking ourselves, what can I do? I'm just one person. What can I do? I would urge people Saturday, instead of participating in the screaming matches and violence, find a local business you support, maybe a Jewish-run bakery or African-American-run bakery." Fey then reached to the side and grabbed a huge cake with an American flag decorated on top and icing before digging into it with a fork and shoving huge pieces in her mouth. As she shoved huge pieces of the cake in her mouth, Fey explained how America was stolen from Native Americans. She concluded by encouraging all good, sane Americans to treat these rallies this weekend like the opening of a thoughtful movie with two female leads. "Don't show up. Let these morons scream into the empty air. The next time when you see a bunch of white boys in polo shirts screaming about taking our country back and you want to scream, it's not our country. We stole it," Fey said with a mouthful of cake. "We stole from the Native Americans. And when they have a peaceful protest at Standing Rock, we shoot at them with rubber bullets. We let you chinless turds march the streets with semi-automatic weapons." Fey also cracked a few jokes at yard sale Barbie Ann Coulter and Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, who, she said, doesn't even know how to at somebody on Twitter in reference to the politician tweeting about the controversial remarks the president said about the Charlottesville incident on Tuesday without directly putting his name in the tweet. The former SNL cast member concluded by encouraging all good, sane Americans to treat these rallies this weekend like the opening of a thoughtful movie with two female leads. "Don't show up. Let these morons scream into the empty air." Fellow comedians Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers also appeared on Weekend Update separately from Fey as two slave-owning founding fathers. Fellow comedians Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers also appeared on Weekend Update separately from Fey as two slave-owning founding fathers. Fallon portrayed President George Washington Center, while Meyers dressed up as President Thomas Jefferson Wright. Fallon portrayed President George Washington, while Meyers dressed up as President Thomas Jefferson. Yost began the segment by telling co-host Michael Che, "You're not going to believe this, but President Trump's approval rating is down. Trump can't believe it either because everywhere he goes people are always waving to him." He then showed a photo of neo-Nazis giving the Sieg Heil salute in Charlottesville. Che, who was fed up, said, "I don't want to do this. Nazis, Confederates, what is with these old-timey threats making a comeback? What's next? Vikings, polio." He then referenced the president's remark that there were fine people on both sides of the violence in Charlottesville and said, "Okay, but if you are a fine person and you happen to be at a rally filled with Nazis, at what point do you stop and think, hey, am I being unreasonable?" Che then noted how Trump has compared Confederate Gen. Robert E. Lee and President George Washington several times in the past few days before introducing the nation's first president. About this whole Robert E. Lee thing, I'm nothing like that guy, Fallon said during his portrayal of Washington. I created this country, he tried to tear it apart. I rebelled against England, he rebelled against America. The duo sported the costumes to defend George Washington and Thomas Jefferson against Trump's comments comparing them to Confederate Gen. Robert E. Lee. Since they owned slaves, Che eventually confronted the founding father about owning slaves. Right, that was bad, that was wrong, he answered. But if you want to talk about owning slaves, you should really talk about Thomas Jefferson. Myers then emerged at the anchor desk, dressed as Jefferson and ready to defend himself. Whoa, 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 you're gonna throw me under the carriage like that, he asked. You're going to make me the slave guy? Really? Come on, what more do you want? You are the one on the quarter. I'm on the nickel and $2 bill. Joke money. You have to remember, it was a different time, man. Myers Jefferson added, it was the 70s, man. The 1770s. Look, we have all done bad things, but the difference between us and Robert E. Lee is we did good things. I wrote the Declaration of Independence. Fallon's Washington then quipped, not to be a jerk, but I won my war. Yeah, and I'm sorry, Robert E. Lee, but I prefer generals who win wars, Myers Jefferson added.